Hansel and Gretel's witch was actually a hero made to look like a villain. This is Sugarcoated. It is my Hansel and Gretel retelling, where our witch, Annika, is actually Hansel's secret girlfriend. She was working with Hansel and his younger sister Gretel as part of the resistance because the Mad King was just annihilating their kingdom for fun. And they are on a mission to take him out of power permanently. And Gretel's the only one with the powers to do this, young little Gretel. And so Annika and Gretel's older brother Hansel are mentoring her and getting her prepared for what she has to do for the resistance as part of the rebellion. And because of that, Annika ends up in a very terrifying situation, has to sacrifice herself to save the rest of them. That is part of the plot. It is not a spoiler. You know what's coming. And she gets painted as the villain by the Mad King, who is winning in this particular battle. And so I have taken what is traditionally seen as a villain and given her a purpose and a motivation and shown that the history books lie. The people who win get to write the history books. They can say whatever they want about how good and wonderful they are and how bad the other people are. So I've taken a character who is very much a hero in this situation. She is the ultimate hero in this situation. And I've given her a reason to be painted as a villain. I've told you what you've learned about this story from those history books was a lie. It was manufactured to make her look bad, to turn her into propaganda, to turn her into an evil witch trying to eat children and all of those things. And so if you take a character who is supposedly a villain and show that actually they were the hero, actually they were the right person here, and the wrong person won, and then gets to say whatever they want about that character, that's a really cool twist on retellings. It allows you to take something we thought we knew and paint it in a new light. And so I took a witch. Annika has powers. She does kind of control illusions. And so she can transform her house, not actually into a candy house, but with her illusion gift, she can make it appear that way. She can make things appear differently. She's using her gifts and her powers for a good purpose, but she takes the fall and it backfires on her and things really go down inside of this story. It's a very interesting novella. It is a short story, but we have this weird warped perception of this. And you go into it knowing she's the witch. She's the one who takes the fall for all this. She's the problem. She's the villain, but she's actually not. And so then you get to explore, well, how did this end up happening? If I know that Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty is the villain, how did she get there? Disney did a great job with that with their Maleficent movies. They kind of explored the backstory and showed us she's not actually the villain that we thought. Going in and taking a villain and exploring their story, how they got transformed into a villain or how they were portrayed as a villain is a very interesting exercise in how to do really good, really strong retellings. So if you can take a villain and show us they aren't actually a villain, but why they could be painted as one, you've humanized them, you've added character and dimension to them, and you have a totally new twist on that story. Annika? Sure. She's an evil witch. Sure. She was doing bad things with people, young children, Hansel and Gretel. Sure. She had power over them. Sure. Sure she did. But she also saved everyone. And so you get to go through this story. You get to learn new things about Annika, about your villain, and you get to put this twist on it. And you decide, do you want them to be the straight up villain and then the heroes are the actual villains? Or do you want them to be something like this where Annika is working with Hansel and Gretel? She's not in opposition to them, but they're all kind of painted as villains, as people in the wrong by the victor, the Mad King who won. So you get to do a lot. There's so much you can do with this one, but I highly recommend taking a look at some of those villains and seeing what you can do to change our perception on them and make it realistic to the story that we originally knew. Why do we see them as the villain? But, give them some layers, give them some depth, add some character arc and development in there, and see what you can create. Drop your questions on Sugarcoated down below if you have not read it yet. Highly recommend you do. It's a fun read, a little bit snooty. You're welcome. She's dating Hansel. I had to. But we've got some really cool stuff in here, and it's very strongly of sacrifice, very strongly of lies and manipulation and deceit and twists. We've also got some great technology in here and some fun little things that maybe you won't see coming because she's dating Hansel. and things are happening. So you are welcome for this one. It is one you're going to throw the book at the wall when you're done. People are really mad about this, but it is, oh, it's such a good ending. And you guys know what's happening because I told you up front, she's sacrificing herself for this one. So it's going to be sad. It's going to be heart-wrenching, but it's so good. It's so good. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode as we continue to talk about my books and about the publishing industry to help you navigate your writer or your reader life.